Welcome to Empowerment Point, everybody, and welcome on this extremely hot Melbourne night. We have the air conditioning going, so if you can hear it, I do apologise, but we're trying to keep cool here. Empowerment Point, where we help businesses grow by bringing you experts on different business topics. My name's Debbie Small, and I'm the founder of Empowerment Point. I want to welcome you to Business Dining with Deb, Business Treats and Takeaways. This is episode 4, using joint ventures to build your business. And I'm going to introduce you to these amazing gentlemen in a moment as well. Just letting you know that you can actually watch past episodes on Empowerment Point TV on YouTube. And if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you can also keep updated of what's going on as well and any episodes that might happen. Now, if you're listening to this via podcast, which we are starting shortly, so if you're on the replay, then we already may be on podcast. Please understand, and we do apologise. This is a show, Business Dining, so we are eating tonight as well. And we are going to try to be as quiet as we can with our cutlery, but, you know, noise does happen at times as well, so we apologise for that up front. Now, our sponsor for tonight is the wonderful, wonderful private chef Ashley Han from White Knight Catering Services. Thank you, Chef Ashley.
Thank you.
From whiteknightcateringservices.com.au, and that's Night, K-N-I-G-H-T. So the food tonight is going to be absolutely delicious and amazing. Now, Chef Ashley is here in Melbourne, so he can cater to your events, whether they be your small private events, large events. He can cater for all of them, so make sure you do book him for your events this year as well. You will be really happy that you did.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for that. Now, as people keep asking to see the wonderful food that we're going to be eating, I will do a promo video for the food afterwards as well. So any past promo videos you can see at the moment on my Instagram page, which is Debbie Small Empowerment Point. And they will be going onto YouTube as well. So they're really fun to watch and see the food we're actually eating. So I have people who tell me that they just want to be in our home here watching and eating with us at the same time, which is fair enough. I would too. Okay. I just need to also tell you I have a track sheet here as well, which I go through. Now, I have a track sheet to keep us updated with everything, because if I don't, then everyone is so passionate about the topics that we talk about that we will be here till breakfast time, and Chef Ashley will be making us breakfast in the morning.
Yep.
And I know I say that in every show, but it's true, because the people I have who are sharing information with you, they're all really passionate about the topics that they're talking about. So that's why I make sure to have a track sheet with me as well. And I have my watch here to keep us on track too. Now, I also want to introduce you, but she won't come on camera, to my friend Nikki. And Nikki is going to do, can you do a yell out, a hello?
Hello. Hi.
Nikki is going to be watching your comments and your questions on Facebook. So if you have comments, let us know. And if you have questions, let us know as well. At the end, we are going to be looking at answering some questions live as well. So please make sure as you go that you do, or if you come up with any questions, that you post them, and Nikki will write them down for us as well. Thanks, Nikki. Okay, now just to let you know too that I have put on this show that it's only an hour. Usually we do it for an hour and a half, but this time I put it for an hour. But there is a but here. If I believe the information is so important that if we do go over time, I am going to allow us to go over time. So if you can stay with us, that would be beautiful. If not, you can watch the replay as well. But we will stay and make sure to answer as many questions as we can in the time that we have as well. So thank you for making the effort to come on board and to stay with us. Now, my business empowerment point is about ensuring that you have solid foundations in your business. A business is like a house. If you have a strong structure, you're able to have choice. You're able to grow or sell, or you're able to do whatever it is that you want to with your business. So I find that a lot of people spend a lot of time plugging leaks in their businesses. So I really want to help businesses have a strong foundation so they can grow. And when they can grow, they can employ more people as well. And the fact that they're helping people who are helping people, which is really great. And I think doing your business right the first time is really important, but it never happens, so it's okay. We're here to help as well. So tonight I bring you the topic, using joint ventures to build your business. And collaborating is an amazing way to build your business, to help other people, and to, as I said, it's a domino effect. The more people that we can help, the more people can employ people, the more families we can help as well, which is really quite beautiful. So, gentlemen, I think it's time to start our dinner party. Yes. Now, I want to introduce you to the lovely gentlemen I have on either side of me. I have Anthony Gaddy and Johan Noguera. So I'd like to ask them, Anthony, what do you do and why do you do it?
First of all, thank you so much for having me on the show. It's a good privilege to be here.
That's my pleasure.
What do I do? As well as being a very proud husband and father.
I'll just ask you guys to speak in the microphone, sorry, just to make sure.
As well as being a very proud husband and father, by way of career, we, you know how there's a lot of business owners who want to grow to the next level, but sometimes they feel like they're just swimming against the tide to secure new clients and to make it happen. Yeah. What we do is we share replicable marketing tools and systems with them, and then we physically help them to build out the networks of decision makers so that literally they get to the position where new clients are dashing down the door to get to them.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And why did you decide to do this?
Well, I used to think that my mission in life was to accrue $1 gazillion and then retire undefeated from this world of business and go and work over here in the business of social enterprise and humanity.
Right.
But what I've realized is I really enjoy what I do over here in business, and that actually business yields a lot of influence, and profit itself can be used as a very strong tool and weapon to create good in the world. So I'm very inspired to increase mine, my family's, and the world's joy. That's why I do what I do.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Anthony.
Pleasure.
Johan Noguera, what do you do and why do you do it?
Thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, my pleasure.
What do I do? So I have 4 companies. We build businesses. 4 real companies that exist. The reason I say that is because people struggle to run one business. When I say I run 4 companies, most people go, wow, that's crazy. Why do you not focus? I said, well, the companies are built with different, different outcomes. We have one company, which is 10 years old now, which is built to feed 92 families. Those are the employees in there. The second company is built to create wealth and equity, and that's what it's doing. The third company is an education company, which is built to create good in the world and empower businesses. And the fourth company is built for cash flow. So why do I do all that? Well, because we can. We have one life. You might as well use it, do the most you can, and use it to create good in the world. So why we're here today to talk about the third company, which is where we have connected. Now, the third company is a business education company, which creates impacts using B1G1. So B1G1, buy one, give one, and its sole purpose is to create more impacts in the world. Last year, we did 1 million impacts.
Wow.
This year, we want to get to 10 million impacts. So, yeah, that's why we're here. Share the message.
Thank you for that. I think that I chose joint ventures as the first topic for this year because of the impacts that it does have, and because of the amazing way that it can help businesses grow, and that domino effect as well. So this is a topic I'm so passionate about, so I had to have this for our first show for this year as well. Now I just want to ask, Nikki, can you hear the sound okay? Perfect. Lovely. Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. That is really lovely and really important of why we do what we do as well. Now, I want to have a look at joint ventures. So what's the very first thing that you should look at when looking to do a collaboration with somebody?
Sure. So there's a big distinction between joint ventures and partnerships that needs to be addressed up front. So a lot of people say, hey, let's go joint venture together. And they sometimes expect a partnership, or even the other way around. Many people who've been in business for a long time, you've got into a partnership, but it was actually a joint venture. So the distinction there is, if we're in a partnership together, you work as hard as I do. And if we're in a joint venture together, you work when you want, and if if it works out, to your timeline, then it's a good thing to do. So that's the difference between a partnership where you're working with the same energy level, the same intensity, the same, collaboration. And joint ventures is more when it suits you.
Okay, interesting. We're going to have a look too at 3 different types of joint ventures that we do as well, and then we're going to also look at some major things to watch for in a joint venture, and one of them kind of tinged on a moment ago. And we're also going to look at different examples as well. Now, I just want to talk about, before we go into a bit further into that, and just the very beginning of what we look at with a joint venture. So things like understanding your target market will probably be the most important thing, I would say. Yes.
Yeah.
Why is that so important to know who your target market is before you go out there?
Why know your target market? I guess if you can clarify exactly who you're trying to serve and what value you're trying to provide to them, then you can start to ask questions around who else is serving that target market before you. Because if you can go and find those people, they can give you access to a lot of your target market much quicker than you can do by yourself. And then the other reason to try and work that out is if you become really clear on who you're trying to serve and what value you're trying to provide to them, then you can also think about how you can partner to add more value. So if I can do something for a client and someone else can do something else, and together whatever we're offering, 1 + 1 = 5, then that's a good collaboration.
True. So it's really important to give that value that we find out. Oh, sorry, we're being interrupted here for a moment.
Okay, we are starting off with, so that's Australian barramundi crumbed with lemon parsley. The salad on the side is rocket with watercress, parsley, a little bit of fresh chilli and some fried shallots on top. And a bit of Yarra Valley goat's cheese.
Oh my God, this looks amazing.
I've got one word. I haven't tasted it yet, but I've got one word, and the word is wow.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Enjoy, guys. Enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh my God.
I just forgot what we were talking about.
That's actually why I asked Ashley to come in just after I've introduced you guys, because I didn't want you to get stuck mid-sentence and go, where was I?
No, this looks amazing.
It does. Enjoy, please enjoy whilst we're talking. So I was saying how
Knowing your client.
knowing your client, which is really, really important, and look at other people who are serving those clients and adding value. And what's really important too is, can you see a problem that they're trying to solve that you can actually add value to and solve with them? So you're actually solving it, I guess, holistically, or you're solving it even better with both of you than you would on your own as well. So what's the problem that is there that you can look at solving?
Can I give you a live example of exactly what happened?
Go on.
To put everything in context that we're talking about. So one of the members in our community, let's call her the deal maker.
Okay.
So she went up to a fitness center, a health center, and said, hey, I'd like to do some marketing for you. I noticed that you spend over 100,000, on your marketing, but I think I can do a lot better, and I'll give you a guarantee that my marketing will work.
Okay.
In return, I need $10,000 from you up front. I'm going to be using this money to create this marketing material, and it's going to be a voucher to your club for 6 months.
Okay.
So she's adding value already. And so the printing cost of that was 50 cents per, nice little brochure, cardboard voucher. These vouchers are valued at $99 for 6 months to the membership. They were very happy with that. She then took those, 20,000 of these, so 10,000, 50 cents a piece, 20,000 units, and put them at all the different fitness clothing stores around that city, and gave it to them. When she was giving it to them, to the fitness stores, she said, hey, I want to make you a deal. For every person who comes into your store, I want you to offer them this voucher only if they spend over $200. So what does that do for the business? The people's
Grows the
transactional
business.
value
Goes up.
increases. So she's done that, distributed all these vouchers. Word of mouth starts spreading. people are putting it on social media. Hey, if you go to this, this fitness store and you buy your leggings and you buy your workout gear, you're getting this free voucher for a free gym. So that happened. So now what happened from that is she's distributed 20,000 of these things. She also made a deal with the fitness center. Hey, for every new person that you get through my vouchers, they have to enter. There's a special code on there. I would like a 10% commission for the life of that client. Are they happy with that?
Nicely done.
Are they happy with that?
Nicely
Hell yeah.
done.
They haven't spent any extra marketing dollars. They've created the vouchers with all of their branding, so it's still theirs. They haven't actually spent any other additional money. She sold these coupons to those stores for $2 a piece, immediately making money. So $2 a piece, cost 50 cents. She made $30,000 just by going and distributing these vouchers around, right? How much time do you think this has taken to put together so far? Approximately, let's say 2 weeks, just for the sake of it. I know it was less. So now she's done the distribution. 6 months later, she's tracking, everything. She's got communication with the fitness center. The fitness center goes, hey, thank you so much. We retained 20% of the clients. 20% on 20,000 is how many clients? 4,000 new memberships per year, of which
She's collecting 15%.
10%.
10% ongoing.
Ongoing. So
And it's grown every one of those businesses that she's joined together. It's grown every one of them.
exactly.
And it sounds like everybody's happy and winning along the way.
Correct.
That's it.
Doing stuff that wouldn't have happened if she didn't bring this together.
Exactly. Now let's do some maths. 4,000 new memberships at $200 a year. It's a cheap membership. What does that work out to be, Mr. Gaddy?
So again, 4,000 new memberships at
$200.
8,000.
How much?
4,000 at how many?
4,000 times 200.
Times 200.
So 4,000 times 2 is 8. Add on 2 more zeros.
Yep.
Yeah, a pretty healthy number.
$800,000 in new revenue for that fitness center, right? From that, she had worked out that there was a 10% lifetime value. $80,000 recurring per year as long as they stay members. 2 weeks to put together. That's a really, really good joint venture. The health center one, the clothing stores one, the people one, because one, they got the free voucher. They got to try out before they committed.
And she won.
And she won.
Big time.
She got $30,000 up front and then $80,000 recurring.
So she's really done well in the way that, yes, the money, she's done really well with that. But what she's also done is she's had a look at a problem that's out there. She's had a look at how to solve that problem. But one thing which is really, really important as well is she had a look at a win-win-win.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got to be a win for your clients or the clients that you're trying to help out. It also, or clients or customers, it also has to be a win for the other person. And it also, and some people forget this too, it's got to be a win for you as well. So a win-win-win to be able to do a really great joint venture with that. So that's fantastic.
Can we talk about a few collaborations just to really bring out how
Go for
simple it can be? And I was also thinking, why collaborate? And what came to mind for me is, have you ever seen somebody build a building by himself or by herself? No.
Did you see the one I built yesterday?
A building, what, across the road?
Did you see the one over there?
The answer is no. It's never been done, and
definitely
it never will be done. Because people
As a team, we get more done.
Absolutely. And yes, same goes in business. Like, have you ever seen one person, and you might come think of superstars of business, if we think about Richard Branson, if we think about Elon Musk.
He still doesn't do it by themselves.
They never do it by themselves. They always do it with teams and collaborations and partnerships. Pop quiz. Who's one of the most famous singers to come out of the UK? He's in the twilight of his career, maybe not his life.
Elton John.
That's it, Elton John. How did Elton John first get really famous? I mean, he's got a great voice, he plays the piano, he's got some amazing tunes. But do you know how he first became quite prominent? He partnered. You know who he partnered with? You know which show he got on? The Muppet Show.
That's right.
The Muppet
That's
Show.
right.
And so
That was a good show to market yourself on too.
He partnered with the Muppets, and the Muppets partnered regularly with people like Elton John.
Yes, they
Because
did.
they know if they can
They did.
bring that outside talent into their show, it makes it interesting, it makes it fresh, brings in the adults, not just the kids. Now they're adding more value than either one of them could do individually. And hey presto. Here's another pub quiz. I don't think, well, you might get this without Uncle Google, but what's the world record for the 100 meters sprint, men's? What's the world record in time? Any guesses?
Usain Bolt. Oh, in time.
Yeah.
No idea.
8.3 something.
So sorry, that's the 100. What about the 400?
No idea.
World record 43 seconds. But what when you start to collaborate? That's held by a guy called Wade Van Niekerk. But what when you start to collaborate and you get 4 people all giving their very best, handing the baton to each other, suddenly the world record comes down to 36 seconds. So they shave 15% off because 4 of them collaborate and put their best in. There's so many examples just like that. And if we think about that in business, there's no way we can do the very best and create the very best by ourselves. So if we think about, if we come back to your question, who's the target audience? What are some of their challenges? How can we solve their problem? And then how can we partner with others to make whatever it is we're offering bigger, better, and get more reach? That really, I think, is where partnership and collaboration can accelerate a business.
Very true. And I have to add too that, you know, it's not always easy for business people to ask for help. And it's not always easy for business people to work as a team. And I don't mean that they can't work as a team. What I mean is that they don't reach out to work as a team, and they try to do it all alone. And you know, it's a hard work being a business owner. You know, we go through our ups and downs. It's not just like this at all. And having a team around you to actually help you to reach your goal and do the things that you want to do is really important, because we get so much more done as a team. And also, you know, having, and this is why I love doing the dinner parties with more than with 2 people as well, because there's that banter going, and I love business banter. And you get ideas as well from people, and you share different things, and you create different things together as well, which is really great. So yeah, if you're working on your own, have a look at what you do, have a look at what problems you're solving, and have a look at the people around you who you could help solve those problems for, and who you can work with as well. Because working as a team, it just means that you can get to your dream and your goal a lot faster as well, which is really important. We were also, hello, thank you. We were also talking about having a look at a database as well as one of the first things you should do, is a people's database. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Of course. So one of the main reasons why partner.
This is delicious.
Thank you. Thank you.
Often people think, you know, they turn up to some kind of a function, or maybe they're using LinkedIn or Facebook to connect with potential clients. A lot of people turn up to an event and they look around and they think, who can I talk to that could be a client for me? But I approach it differently. If I turn up to one of those events, I'd be looking around to think, okay, who's here that knows 50 potential clients? They're serving the same clients that I want to work with. Because if I can meet that person and work out how I can add value to that person, they might give me access to all of their clients. And if I can do that, then I can get to 50, 100, 1,000 people much quicker than if I try to do it by myself.
Okay. So you're networking with a mission.
Yeah, but more than that, I love this expression. Myopia is short-sightedness. We say operate with, it's a made-up word, this one, made-up word alert. Grandopia. Grandopia. Don't think short-sighted, you know. I might say, okay, Deb, how many people are there in your business? And you might say it's only a small business. A lot of people go, no, I'm not going to talk to Deb because she's just a small business. I'd be thinking...
I don't know who I know.
Exactly. I would be asking myself, who does Deb know? And does Deb know people that we could add value to, either that we could add value through our business or through a collaboration? That's grandopia. That's expansive thinking.
You know, it's really true. People do make that error as well, and they don't realise the amount of people that you know, or the relationships that you've built. And, you know, for me, one of the wonderful things in business for me is the relationships that I build and have been building along the way as well. And so when I even have people who call me that they need something and I'm connecting. So you know what? Why not design a business around it?
And you said before that a lot of people don't ask help.
Yeah.
I used to be one of those people. And a good friend and mentor actually said, you've got to get much better at asking for help and collaborating with others. And he actually said, if you don't do that, you're being selfish.
Yes.
You're depriving
How
the
dare you
other
stop
person of a
Yes.
good thing happening.
How dare you stop your work getting out to other people and helping other people?
Yeah, don't be that person.
Yes. Just a cheers, guys.
Cheers.
To a wonderful night and a wonderful year.
Thank you. You
Thank
too.
you. Oh,
Bang.
very, very true. Now, ask you, are there any qualifying questions that you would ask to ensure that you're a good fit with another collaborator or someone you're thinking of having a joint venture with?
First of all, they need to. So when we're talking about joint ventures, they need to be able to support more clients. Most small businesses, even medium businesses, when you talk to them, they're already at capacity, or they don't have the infrastructure in place to take on more clients. So we need to make sure that, hey, if you're going to do a joint venture where you're going to be, you've qualified that, hey, this is a product that they need.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You're going to be sending them 10, 15, 20, 50 more businesses every week. Can they cope with that? And if they can't, then you need to find somebody else who can, depending on what joint venture you are doing.
Or you can have a talk to them about how to fix their back end and the logistics to be able to support it. Because either, it depends. I think that, you either have choose somebody else who better fits you, or help them to grow,
Mm-hmm.
so then they can be the people that you'll actually joint venture with as well.
Do you know anybody who does that?
No, definitely not. Any other qualifying questions?
So, well, we need to understand who they're serving, how much more capacity can they have,
Yeah.
what are their profit margins? Because
Okay.
if you're going to be doing a joint venture, you need to make sure that the profit margins are worthwhile your time, your energy, your effort. Because generally in joint ventures, you're not getting paid to do the joint venture, but you're waiting to do the end outcome. That's where the money's made. So we've got some people who try and do joint ventures, but when the profits are too skinny, but there's not enough volume. There's some that do it really well, and they do it en masse, and they have, because of the mass, they make a nice healthy profit.
Okay.
Qualifying questions.
Yeah. If I was looking to reach more clients, one of the first qualifying questions I would ask is, does this other party have a strong client base, and actually is their client base what I'm looking for?
That's important.
So if I was a new dentist that moved in, I would go and talk to a doctor that's somewhere in the area.
Yep.
Because the recipe is, if I can find someone who is already serving the client base that I want to serve, but they don't compete with me, then we could partner to create more distribution. If I was a software producer and I'm targeting mid-tier organizations, I might go and find someone who's offering outsourced payroll to that target audience, or who's offering integration or IT hardware. So again, I'd be asking as a qualifying question, are they targeting, do they have a client base that I'm targeting? And then I would also ask some key questions around the values of the business.
That's important.
Yeah, like what are they about? Why are they doing what they're doing? What are the values of the business, of the leaders? Because if there's a mismatch of values, it's like trying to marry someone who you just don't get on with. But if there's a match of values, of course there's always going to be differences of opinion, but if you've got that values alignment, it's going to be a lot easier to take the journey.
Isn't it funny how business and relationships are so similar? On our first show, where we talked about relationships and business, We also talked about values and how it's really important that you're dating or going out with someone who has the same values as you. And really, a joint venture is really similar, that you need to make sure that they do have the same values as you do. Because if not, you're going to find out down the track and it's just, you're not going to gel, it's not going to work, because you both got a different outcome that you're wanting as well. And it's really important to want that same outcome.
Yeah. And I'm tipping some people might say, no, that's really personal. You know, how can you ask the other people what their values are and what's really important to them? But I think it's really important to ask those questions right up the front and work out whether there's a match or a mismatch before you invest 6 or 8 months working together on something. Yeah.
Guys, everything we're talking about, you know, even if you've got a pen and paper and want to write things down, it's really important that you have that with you. Sorry, food in my mouth. It's really important that you have that with you, because then when you're looking at different joint ventures, you've got a bit of a checklist that you can go through of all the things that you need to ask or you need to find out or you need to go through as well.
Shall we add to that list if it's a checklist?
You can add to it if you want to, for sure.
I would also encourage that we ask where, you know, if it's a joint venture where we're going to do something serious together in business, we're not just going to refer 1 or 2 clients to each other. I would be inclined to try and work out, what do you think is the scope of this thing? Are you trying to make something really big, or is this a boutique idea? Because if you think it's boutique and I think it's massive, we'll only discover that a certain stage down the track, and then we're a big mismatch. If you're trying to grow a $100 million business, but I think it's a $500,000 business, we invest all the time and we discover that 6-12 months in, then we've got a problem because we're not going to get on. But if we work that out up the front and we find, okay, there's an alignment there's an alignment of values, and there's an alignment I think we're going to contribute versus what we're going to take out, because that, I think, offender the biggest reason why these JVs and partnerships break up.
That's really funny. I did have 3 major things to watch out for, and I'm done. That was so good. Thank you.
Thank you.
The 3 major things to watch out for, which were, lack of similar values, lack of aligned values, and perceived inequalities of what each party is going to do, which is exactly what you've just said the other way around.
Yeah, absolutely. And Deb, it doesn't have to be 50-50. We can decide at the beginning that you and I are going to do a venture, and I'm going to put in a lot more work than you, and I'm going to take more than you, or vice versa.
But just
as
to
long
know.
as long as we agree that. Thanks, Ashley. I don't know how to say in French. That was absolutely delicious, but if I could, that's what I would say in French.
Appreciate
I
it.
just say merci.
Thank you.
That was it.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there anything else that they should have on the checklist? That's a pretty good checklist, though, that we've gone through. Is there anything else that we should put on there?
So, when they're looking for a joint venture, there's 3 things that they want to do: create more profit.
Yep.
That's the reason. So there's some reasons for doing the joint venture: more profit, more leads, and creating more impact.
Right.
So if they, again, back to values, if they're aligned with all of those, it's going to be a good match.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, guys. Now, there are 3 types of joint ventures that we were talking about. One is entry, one is intermediate, and one is advanced. So can we talk a bit about the entry level of joint ventures and what that is?
Yeah, sure. I see entry level as a simple collaboration. Hey, let's go do something cool together. So you're collaborating with Ashley. Ashley sponsors the show.
He does.
He produces, dare I say, he's not in the room, but a fantastic meal so far.
Say that up close.
He produces, dare I say, a fantastic meal so far. He gets exposure to your community, so he's winning from there. You, me and Johan get an amazing meal.
And
so
Nikki.
we all get an amazing meal, so we're winning. So you're creating an entry-level collaboration. It's not like you have to create a new company together and create a serious amount of new structure, etc. It's an entry-level collaboration, and you may have approached him and said, Ash, I got this idea, I want to do something cool, this is what I'm doing. Do you want to be part of it? Easy, not complex. We can dip our toe in the water, or we could do it quite a few times, but it's simple. It's an easy collaboration. Win, win, win. Yeah.
I'm all about a win-win-win.
Correct.
It has to be a win-win-win.
Yeah.
So that's an entry level. What about a intermediate?
Sure. So I'll give you an example. One of our clients is a mining client, and they love, well, what they do is they supply mines. I'm at this event and I start talking to this guy, completely separately to this client. And I go, so what do you do? He goes, I build software for mines. I kid you not. You really can't make this up.
Don't you love it when God conspires in your favour?
I said, okay, cool. Let's talk about that business. And as we talk, I realized that he's tired of the business. He's been in there 20 years. They've got all these mines on the books. It's turning over. He's got no passion left. The mining company, what they want to do is they want to acquire more mines. He's got a decent book with all the mines in there. So I say, hey, what would happen if I helped you sell your business and get you the price that you're looking for? He goes, I would be forever grateful. So now it's a pretty big deal, because it's we're playing at a higher level. But again, this is the intermediate because it's not the advanced. Then, in order to do that, we have to create another company, formalize a few things, have lawyers draft up all the documents, make sure everything's going to happen the way it's meant to happen, all the agreements, and then do that deal. So that's what I'd say is an intermediate.
Okay. And the other one was the advanced.
An example that comes to mind for me there is Subaru and Toyota collaborated to produce what was a very similar car. So they shared all the research and development on the prototype. And help me out, I'm no petrol head. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's a sports car.
Yep.
And the Subaru and the Toyota look very similar. I think the Subaru is slightly more souped up.
Okay.
But essentially it's the same car. Help me out, what model are we talking?
I can picture it, I don't remember it.
And I drive a Subaru. Shame on me. I drive the WRX, I don't drive that one. But a lot of people would know they collaborated, and for that collaboration to happen, they would have had to sit down and do some serious planning. Who knows, they may have created a separate entity, a separate structure. They would have had to work out who owns the IP, and they would have spent a long time planning that before they went ahead and built these cars. That's not entry level. That's not a couple of companies who got together and said, together we can produce something pretty quick. Let's join forces and make this thing over here happen. That's a more complex, a more complicated structure that requires a lot more thinking, a lot more due diligence, more than likely a separate structure, a lot more legality and governance, etc. Yeah, that's a more complicated level 3 collaboration.
So you've got 3 types of collaborations there. You've got your entry level, you've got your intermediate, and you've got your advanced. So depending on which one you're doing, you also need to make sure to see, I guess, a lawyer and an accountant, especially if you're looking at the advanced one as well. And you need to make sure to have all your ducks in a row as well, which is really important.
Deb, let's throw a couple more examples in the ring, and I'll actually
That was the next part, so go for
wow,
it.
I'm reading the script.
Right over there.
Let me throw a couple of examples out and let's work out together what level of collaboration this is.
Uh-oh, I'm being tested now. We're in trouble.
We're all being tested. I'll put myself in there too.
No one told me a test came with tonight.
I walked into the supermarket the other day with my daughter and she says, Dad, can I get these Tic Tacs? This is like a really new Tic Tacs. Check out how cool this is. I have a look, and it's a Tic Tacs box. It's got the Tic Tacs logo, but it's, do you know what it is? Coca-Cola. So Tic Tacs and Coca-Cola have collaborated, and now you've got these Coca-Cola Tic Tacs. And they're probably both thinking, well, if we think about it, Coca-Cola's brand essence is around fun. A Coke and a smile, and enjoy your life, have Coke. I'm not going to say anything about the contents of the drink itself. But Tic Tacs also is about having fun and fresh breath and be cool and let's do cool stuff. So together they
should sponsor me. Tic Tacs, the amount that I have. Go on.
I was going to bring it with, but I thought Ashley might get a bit upset. We're introducing food into Chef Ashley's environment.
Excuse me.
What level of collaboration is that? They're clearly putting 1 + 1 together to make something bigger than anyone could do by themselves. They're leveraging both brands, so they're really bringing the brands together.
You got this. Go.
Well, I'm in between advanced and intermediate.
Yeah, I'm thinking
it's
too.
more
It's not
advanced.
entry level.
No, it's not.
They're both billion-dollar brands. That,
It's an advanced one. If you know the example.
Yeah.
So we've got Netflix. Netflix has dominated the streaming industry for how long?
A long time.
It created it.
I don't know. I don't have Netflix.
And so Disney realized that, hey, a lot of what's being consumed is through Netflix. Why don't we create a competitor? And then what is the content that people love to watch? It's Disney content
Yeah.
and Marvel. So they use them as the draw card to get most of the people to start switching over. Come to Disney Plus and you'll have Marvel. The collaboration between those two giants of the industry has now created a disruptor into the streaming and taken a nice chunk of Netflix profits. So again, this is another advanced one. I'll spoil it for you.
Yeah. A very smart one, like really clever. So you've got two giants coming together
Yeah.
to disrupt the market and have a go at what has been the dominant player.
Well, you were talking about Lego the other night as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And they partnered with, guess who? Disney.
Marvel, everyone.
Yeah, that's so good. Who would have thought? A toy company partnering with all these organizations, and by doing that, they keep Lego fresh. So now Lego's not just these building blocks. Now Lego is Disney, and Lego is Star Wars, and one at a time they keep partnering with these really big names to create 1 + 1 = 5, 10, or more.
And it's also kept it go. It's kept it going for a really, really long time too, because they've kept so fresh.
Yeah.
So you're going to say something?
They even just built Lego slippers. That's how much they listen to their consumers. So people always complain, everything's great except for when you step on a piece of
Well,
Lego.
that was the joke that I made the other night when we had our conference call.
Yes,
because,
that's right. And then, and so Facebook, who's always listening to us, after we had our conference call, it pops up that there's Lego slippers that I can buy.
Are you serious?
For real. How funny is that?
I think Facebook is listening.
Gotta love those
See,
algorithms.
Big Brother Facebook is listening. Google is listening. Yeah, so we need to be careful.
Not to mention Alexa, Siri.
I won't have that in my house. I won't have that here.
Well, I had the Google Home sitting in my office, and I'd be having conversations. It activates by you saying, "Hello, Google," and then it activates. Except I'm on the phone talking, and then it'll start saying, "Would you like me to search that for you?" I'm like, Anyway, let's.
That's why I don't have that in my home.
Yes.
Unless I want to live stream it on Facebook, that's when people get to hear what's happening. Go on.
One more. So, YouTube, they wanted to disrupt the advertising industry.
Right.
So YouTube was. I think this is before they were bought by Google. I might be wrong on that. So everybody pays Google for advertising. Everybody pays Facebook for advertising. YouTube, I think it was bought by Google, and then this happened. YouTube was bought by Google, and then they decided they're going to put advertising on their platform. So they needed a case study that would just show people how easy it is to do that. They found a little dentist. When I say little, I'm talking about a micro business. His name is Dr. Bob. You can go on YouTube and you can check this out. Do you know who Dr. Bob is?
No.
No, okay. So Dr. Bob, 75-year-old dentist who decides to take on the war against halitosis, which is bad breath. And so what he does is he spends his time... yeah, there's a theme today, right?
Tic Tacs and Coca-Cola.
He spends his time and he builds this new thing called an Orabrush. He takes it to a university. The university students go, "Hey, we've done the research. 93% of people will never buy your product." And one student goes, "Actually, that means 7% of the people are going to buy it. That's a lot of people. Like, look around. That's a ton of people." They then partnered with YouTube because they propositioned them and said, "Hey, we'd like to get Dr. Bob some advertising." It was all over YouTube, right? the ads were going crazy, and they were going 100,000, 200,000, 500,
Wow.
a million, 15 million, 60 million views on this channel. And they promoted the case study as, here's Dr. Bob, 75 years old, goes speaks to a marketing student who then goes, let's use YouTube as the
How cool
advertising
is that?
platform.
Yeah.
And now you can get the
Bless
Orabrushes
you.
all around the world. So Dr. Bob's invention went worldwide because of his collaboration with YouTube.
That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Amazing.
That is pretty
so
cool.
you're talking there about a small business that partners with a giant. And in marketing terms, we call that sitting on the shoulders of a giant. And I'd like to put the question out to everyone, who could you partner with? So what do you do and what value do you add? And how could you potentially add value to a larger company's client base? Because larger companies typically have got what? Money and clients. Money and lots of clients and customers. But very often they lack the time and the culture to innovate
Come
and
up
to
with
be
new ideas.
yeah,
Yes.
to do something fresh or to do something clever. And if you are the person like Dr. Bob who comes up with something clever and he then partners with a much larger organization, Dr. Bob skyrockets.
I got another example. By the way, look up the Orabrush story and
The
on
Aura,
YouTube.
the Orabrush
ORA.
story.
ORA.
ORA.
Orabrush. Now, another one. This guy, he buys this business. This business provides internet to the people in the outback. It's his passion. He believes that people in the outback deserve to have the same, facilities that we do in the city. So, it's his mission. He buys the business, and it has 70 clients on there. We're talking about satellite internet. 70 clients. 5 years goes by. Guess how many clients he acquires?
How many?
70. He's stuck at 70 for 5 years.
Wow, he needs help. He needs to partner.
He needs to work as a team.
He partners with the government, right, to bring internet to the outback, whatever they needed to do. And now he has over 60,000 customers.
That's really cool.
Wow.
One collaboration and pushing for his why. His why was
He saw a need.
he saw a need. He saw they were not getting service. He thought that they deserved to be having the same thing. Fought for it for 5 years. How many people could sustain, fighting a fight for 5 years and not
It depends how much you believe in it.
exactly? And then ultimately, is he successful? Hell yeah. He's got more money than he knows what to do with now.
Wow.
And
Wow, from 70
from 70.
to 60,000, it's almost 1,000 times growth.
It just takes one collaboration, one right one.
So one of our sayings in business authorities is you're one deal away. That one deal will change your life. So just keep going.
We've spoken a lot about collaborations to get distribution, to get access to a lot more people much quicker. But what about the collaborations where if you join forces with something, the value proposition goes up a lot? And my favorite example of all time is music. Another pop quiz for the panel. Who is the most famous tenor of all time?
Oh, we already know the answer to that one.
Give it to me with your best Italian accent.
Pavarotti.
I was just, bless you, I think I was just about to go into a German accent by accident.
What's his first name?
Pavarotti.
Luciano
Pavarotti. Oh, our main meal is here. Talking Italian and food.
You have to talk Italian and food. Ladies
Thank
first.
you. Oh,
Thank you.
yum.
Okay, so slow roasted eye fillet.
Yep,
We have broccolini.
yep.
We have local mushrooms stuffed with a little bit of Western Australian pate.
Wow.
And we have got port glazed beetroot
Thank you.
and a little bit of potato gratin.
I'm no speaker of Italian, but I do know the word benissimo.
Grazie, grazie.
Does that mean good?
That means thank you in Italian, so
Okay.
thank you.
Now, Chef, while you're here, I'd love a photo.
Oh, thank you.
Smile, everyone.
Selfie with Ashley.
1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Ashley.
you. Enjoy.
Looks
Please.
delicious.
Sorry,
Enjoy.
guys, we still do social media bits and pieces here.
So,
Thank you.
Talking of food,
Yes.
Pavarotti
Yes.
loved his food,
Yes.
and he forged a career as a tenor and became known as, well, he was the biggest name in opera as a tenor. And what did he do when he got to the pinnacle, the top of his career as a tenor? Anyone know?
Launched a concert.
Launched a concert, launched many concerts, and then, hey presto, he partnered. Joint venture, partnered, whatever term we want to use it, with 2 other tenors. And they became known as the
3 tenors.
3 tenors. So Pavarotti, Placido Domingo, and Jose Carreras became known as the 3 tenors, and they came out with several albums, and together they took opera to the next level, and they took that music to the next level. And just when you think the story ends, they take that to the pinnacle, to its absolute maximum. And then, I don't know whether it was Pavarotti himself or someone on his team, but someone said, hang on a second, why don't we partner with other people? Why don't we do something that can bring in all the people who love rock and who love jazz and who love all kinds of other genres of music?
Just thinking outside the square.
Yeah.
Yeah, think differently.
So they came up with this this concept, Pavarotti and Friends. And they began hosting concerts, I think 1 a year. I think it was in his hometown. If it wasn't his hometown, I'm pretty sure the town was Medina. And they started running these concerts, and now we get Pavarotti singing with Sting and Liza Minnelli and Andrea Bocelli and a range of people that you would never imagine would sing alongside a tenor. But hey presto, now they've opened things up, they've created something completely different, and he is a superstar partnering with superstars, adding more value than any one of them could add.
And picking up more markets at the same time.
Yeah, so adding value to the end
Yeah.
consumers, giving
Yeah.
them something completely different and completely wonderful, and taking things to the next level again. What an amazing example of partnering. So I guess the question that's on my mind is, who could you partner with? Who could you partner with, which if you got together with the other person or the other company, you could offer something which is different, which is out of the box, and which is going to add even more value to the end clients than any one of you could do by yourselves.
For me, it's also really about having a look at what are you passionate about? What do you enjoy doing? And then have a look at the things we went through. So have a look at what problems can you solve by doing this, or how can you do things a bit differently? Something that is not there, or tweak it, and have a different audience to be able to watch that as well, and to be able to what's the word I'm looking for? Experience it and get information from it too. So it's really quite interesting. You know, when we come up, like last year when I had the idea for this, it was an idea that I had, and it was actually a friend of mine in Sydney who kept pushing me and said, you know, just do it. What have you got to lose? Just try it and do it. And it's one of the best things I ever did, and it's so much fun, and the food is so good.
And the relationships are better, right?
And the relationships are better too, and they're fantastic. And it's just, this is why I put a marketing tip, I think today, marketing tip Thursday, yes, about, you know, if you've got an idea, go for it. Because, you know, if you do nothing and you just get stuck, or you don't do anything about it, there's 100% not going to happen and not going to work out. But if you actually take that step to do something, you got a 50-50 chance. And I'd rather a 50 chance than 100% of nothing.
Yep.
So, which is really important too. So, you know, create something, see what you can do, but look at your passion, because when you look at what you're passionate about, what you create to be able to joint venture is so much better, because it comes from here. And it can make a much bigger and much better difference, I think, for your end user as well, which is really important.
One of the things that we did, so we have a software development company. In this company, it's in the building industry. So what happened was we realized that there were these other players in the industry. Some of them were bigger than us, some of them were smaller than us, but we were all fighting for the same market. So what we did was we approached them and said, hey, this is our product. We know that you see us as a competitor, but this is how we are not a competitor of yours. And this is our vision for the future of how we want to go ahead and do things. Out of those, 5 of them partnered with us. Partnered or joint ventured. They said, we will work as hard as you work, and let's do this together. We ended up dominating the industry because no other person could then enter the industry. with the same offering of us combined with all of those 5 other, companies, creating one super offering, we locked out everybody in the market. Now I look forward to the day that there is another competitor that comes in and starts to disrupt it, because it just makes us grow and be better.
So again, you work better as a team.
Again, you work better as a team.
Yeah.
But for now, we dominate that industry because we've locked out all the other competitors by partnering up together and creating an irresistible offer. It works for us, it works for our partners, and it also works for the end user, because they only have to deal with one entity, not 5.
I just wanted to ask, Nikki, do we have any comments at all? We do.
Heather Joy Bassett.
Heather?
Hello, Heather.
Hello, Heather. How are you?
You're
Hello.
awesome.
She's just writing general comments while the conversation's going, but she's very into the whole conversation, so...
We love that you guys are watching, and we love that you're watching, Heather. Thank you.
Jenny loves that you put yourself out there, Deb.
Thanks, Jenny. I don't know if you can hear Nikki or not. So the comment was that she loves that I put myself out there. And let me tell you, putting yourself out there is scary. And to me, I think I've come up with just do it. It's that 1, 2, 3, just do it. Just do what you need to do. Just go for it, because you never know what might happen. But putting yourself out there is scary, and we're all human, and you just need to take that extra step. And I'm talking to everybody who's out there as well. Thank
We've
you.
also got just a quote from Diana. Successful leaders and negotiators have one thing in common. They both think win-win.
Successful leaders and negotiators have one thing in common. They both think win-win. Thank you, Diana. That's really lovely. And you know what? It needs to be win-win-win, because if it's not and it doesn't work for one party, then it's going to fall apart later on as well. So that's really important. So thank you so much for that. Any other examples you'd like to give of great joint venture partnerships?
I'll give you one. So when I first started my company,
Yep.
this is 10 years ago, I realized that, hey, we're really good at what we do. In terms of, we're a digital agency, we build websites. And we're good at what we do, but one of the things I really sucked at back then was getting new clients. Well, actually, I didn't suck at. I was lazy. I couldn't be bothered going and getting new clients. So I said, who has my clients? And I realized that there were these other digital agencies out there who had a beautiful sales force that was already out there doing what they needed to do, but their products were inferior to our product. So I had a team of people who are artists. When they're artists, they love what they're doing. Their passion is through the roof. They're never going to compromise. So I said to these guys, and so I started going around to the different digital agencies, and I said, hey, I can do what you do, but I can do it better, faster, cheaper, and you will make more profit than you're doing right now. So give us a try. I'll give you one project for free. If you like it, we'll go ahead and continue the relationship. If you don't like it, that's fine. You don't actually lose anything. And you have your developers in there who can build it, as a backup. So from that, we had 36 agencies that send us work 10 years later. They still send us work every day. And so that's a joint venture, which I set up 10 years ago, that to this day we've never had to go and hunt for clients.
And what's the domino effect of that?
Exactly. Thousands upon thousands of businesses that have what they have. Yeah, it's just amazing.
So the domino effect is also that the businesses are able to grow, which means they can employ more people, which means they can help more families. That's a pretty good domino effect.
And to continue on that, the families then create children that are more innovative,
Yes.
who then grow up to be leaders, who then create more companies.
Don't you love the domino effect? I love it.
What an amazing example of two companies that got together to collaborate and to joint venture, knowing that the other company does something. You could create wins for both companies and the end clients. Great example.
I'll give you another example of a really good joint venture that was a catalyst. So there's this company, and it existed and it had this great idea that it wanted to change the world. And it had a mission of how it was going to do that. But it was struggling to understand how to create a community. It meets this gentleman. His name's Anthony Getty.
I've heard of him.
Good guy, that guy. And he says, hey, why don't you run this amazing lunch and bring in all these amazing people that are already in your network? So, interesting. But I've got so many things to do. No, do the lunch, trust me. I said, okay, cool. So we go to do this lunch. Now, I messed up because he said, create this lunch and invite 8 people.
You went for like 80?
I invited 80 people, right? And so we had 80 CEOs and, amazing people rock up to this thing, which then catalyzed the entire community, which then led to our main event getting filled up. And so it's the catalyst of business authorities. Thank you.
Great pleasure. Yeah.
Joint ventures in this room.
It's a joint venture that's going to go on forever.
Well done. Well done to both of you. Well done. I just want to ask too, Nikki, do we have any questions? Oh, good. Okay. All good. All good. Remember, if you do want to ask a question, guys, post it now because it'll be answered live as well. So make sure you do that if you have any questions. And if you don't, it just means that the guys are covering things really well, which is great. Is there anything else that we want to add in regards to joint ventures that's really important for people to make sure of, to know, to understand, to keep aware of?
For sure. So just because you want to do a joint venture doesn't mean that you have to do the joint venture with your business. As in, your business does not have to be involved in the joint venture. So the example that I gave at the start of this was of the lady who was doing the joint venture between the fitness clubs and with the clothing stores that sold fitness gear. It's completely not what she does. Make sense? But she saw an opportunity, she saw 2 people, she saw a distribution channel, which was and the product, which was the health club. So you don't have to always be the person, it doesn't have to be about your business.
So if you see an opportunity, then have a look at the opportunity. So it doesn't have to be about something you're passionate about, but it does need to make a difference for the end users though.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And that's how my software company started off. I was living in a place, and every day I kept getting these pieces of paper under my door, and that was their notification system. They said, hey, this is how we're notifying people. I said, why don't you build an app for the business, and for the building? And they go, interesting. And so, long story short, we partnered up with the people who had access to all the buildings. And so from there, we rolled out the software into all those buildings, got the case studies, got the ROI, got the, raving fans. And then from there, that's how the company continued to grow. I wasn't looking to go and build a software company.
Sorry.
So Johan, you actually partnered with the construction companies for that, or was it the...
We partnered with the people who manage the buildings.
Okay,
So
so
we're
building
trying to make
managers.
things easier.
Easier for them.
Yeah.
And then
Have
they
you
said-
ever partnered with construction company to put that in as they build the building?
Yeah. So after that, we started expanding, hospitals, councils, construction companies, developments, everything. But, go on.
So Deb, what I'm hearing Johan say at every station that he's just mentioned there is they've worked out who's already talking to the potential clients before them, who's already got the relationships with all the buildings, and in that case was the building managers. Cool. If we can go and show the building managers how this can add value to one of their clients and do a successful case study there, then the building manager will say, great, let's roll this out across 10, 30, 100 buildings.
It starts with a small idea of getting that done, and then you can have a look, or what you did as well, Johan, is have a look at, okay, so what are other businesses around or other industries around that can actually utilise this and get the best from this as well. So from a little idea, it can just expand and grow, which is amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the best thing about joint ventures, so back to your original question of is there anything else that they need to be aware of? When you're doing a joint venture, you don't actually have to worry about infrastructure. You're using another company's infrastructure, which they already have, and you're matching it with a product that they can already sustain. And so it's complementary. You didn't have to build any of that infrastructure. You didn't have to go and source or create or come up with that product.
So you're joining all the...
That's why it's called a joint venture.
Hello.
You are the conduit.
I always saw it as a collaboration, a joint venture, but really You are.
You're joining it all.
You're joining all the dots. You're joining all the dots, all the lines of all the people that can help, or the people that can do something for, or yeah.
I'll give you another example. So I love joint ventures, as you can tell.
Do you? No.
One of the companies that we deal with. Now, this is a software company that we use. So we use this software all day, every day. It runs our business. I was talking to their main guy, and I said, hey, why do people drop off your platform? He said, oh, they don't know how to use it, they don't see the use cases, they don't understand what the costs are, and all this, or why they're getting charged what they're getting charged. Most of the time when you don't understand that, it's because you're not utilizing it with all the functionality. So I said, interesting. So I went and started posting all over Facebook and said, who uses this software? I'd love to talk to you. Started talking to all these amazing companies who are using it. And I put up a pretty good post that, people were saying, this is how I'm using it, and this is how I'm using it, and these are the ROIs, and this is the returns. Interviewed all these people. Put it together into a nice little booklet of the top companies that are using this software with all their case studies and all their numbers before they used it, after they used it. How valuable do you think that document is?
Very.
To that company?
Very.
So we're going to license it to them. Just because you can. Why not?
Why not?
Are they happy to? Yes. Did they have to do any work? No. Did we do it all and prove it and deliver it to them?
And then they can better what they're doing from that.
Well, no, they can then give that to their, yes, they can, but they can now, every person who comes on board, they generally stay for 3 months or 6 months, I think it was one of those, but you want them staying for 5, 10 years. That's how you grow the company. The more, in this company's model, it's a recurring subscription model, you want them to stay as long as possible. And so in order for them to be able to see how other companies are using it in their categories, they go, oh, that's how they're using it. Easy, I can do that. I can put that in. They don't have to think. People don't want to think anymore. So when you remove that ability for that need for them to go in, because business owners, we've already talked about this, they're so busy. Most of them are too busy working in the business. They don't get time to work on the business, and integrating and putting in new systems is working on the business. So if we do all the thinking and go, here you go, this is a manual, this is all the things you need to run.
That's an opportunity too for people listening, that because businesses are so busy, if you can come up with the idea for them to do something, you can collaborate and do a joint venture that way as well.
Sorry guys, got food in my mouth.
It's all very delicious. So that's really important too. So think outside the square. Have a look at your market. Have a look at who's looking at your market. Have a look at the values that you have and the company has as well that you want to joint venture with. But at the end of the day, make sure that you're meeting a need. I think that's really, really important, because if not, it might last a little bit and then it'll just fall apart too.
Your company will die if you add no value. So.
That's it.
Now, another example to think about. Sorry, I love examples. And
go for it,
real
please.
examples that they can apply.
Because what examples do is they help people to actually understand
Contextualise.
different ways and contextualize and look at different ways that they can actually do it. Yeah, for sure.
Now, do you know this company called GoDaddy?
Never heard of them. Yes.
So what has GoDaddy done since they started? You go there to register a domain name.
Mm-hmm.
Now what happens when you register a domain name? They say, hey,
Do you want
registered?
hosting? Do you want this?
hosting? Do you want a
that?
website? Do you want Google? Now, 3 other services that they never used to provide. But they don't provide it. They've partnered with other companies that do, because they know that, hey, once they get the domain name, what do they need next? So the point of that example is, if you think about your company, before somebody comes to need my service, where are they going? So before I go to get a home loan, who do I go to? Where do I go? To get a home loan, for example.
Yeah.
Or if I go to buy a house, where do I go? I start going to
An
the
advisor.
auction. Exactly. Well,
Accountant.
financial advisor, accountant. Who do I go see after after I've won the auction? I'm going to go see the conveyancer, the settlement person, all those people, right? So those are all joint venture partnerships which you should create. So we've talked about the accountant, the mortgage broker, the financial planner, the conveyancer. Now imagine if one person can come to them, to one little company that does all of that for you, rather than going to 5 other people.
It's making things a lot easier for people to do what they need to do.
Correct.
Yeah.
So yeah, so just think about, where do people go before Where do they go during when they're getting your service? And where do they go after? And then collaborate with all those people to add more value into the marketplace.
And to get more access to the end clients. Yeah.
Is there anything else that we need to add to make sure that, sorry guys, food, to make sure, and it's so good.
Damn you, Ashley. So good.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that we really want people to know in regards to joint ventures?
Yeah, tons.
Go for it, if there's anything else. And guys, I do apologise for those of you that have come on halfway or after halfway. I mentioned that we were going to be on for an hour tonight, but I do understand that joint ventures are really important, and building great joint ventures can grow your business, and it's that domino effect that it can help so many people as well. So I said to the guys that if they do have more information on it, that I'm happy to go over time, because I'm happy for you to get that information. So if you can't watch the whole time, you're more than welcome to watch it on the replay as well, and it is going on to YouTube, so you're more than welcome to watch it on my YouTube station, Empowerment Point TV. Go for it.
Awesome. So, back to business. In a business, there's only 3 ways to increase a business, which Jay Abraham created this. Create more clients, so get more clients into the business. Get them to buy more throughout the year, so increase the frequency. And to increase your profits, increase the price, play with the price. So when you look at a joint venture, you look for these 3 things. How can I increase the number of clients that are going to that business? How can I increase their profits by upsells, downsells, cross-sells, complementary items? And how can I get people to buy more frequently? So think about those, write that in your checklist, etc. I'll give you an example of a friend. His friend sells stuff on Amazon, and he sells little what do you call them? Medical kits, like little, in case you cut your finger or whatever, they've got all those things. He said, I'm doing so much, but I've reached my cap. My business is now plateaued. I said, oh, okay, that's online. What about offline? He goes, what do you mean? I said, well, who buys these things? He goes, well, it's generally, people who are camping and outdoorsy type people. I said, okay, cool. And people who are out at the beach, and parents and all this stuff. I said, that's your market. Why don't you get a box? Now, again, back to Jay Abraham, he did this with cassettes back in the 70s. So there's, by the way, guys, everything that I'm telling you, there's nothing that I've invented. It's just all the information that we all know is regurgitated stuff that's been passed down. Jay Abraham is a big mentor of mine, and so I use him in a lot of my examples. So he used this with cassette tapes. He got access to cassette tapes, and he'd go and put them at the equivalent of 7-Elevens and said, hey, when these things sell, you give me $1 for every cassette tape that was sold. And then he'd go around and put them at all the different convenience things. He'd buy them at 50 cents. I think he sold them for $2. He'd make $1.50 per cassette tape. And then he realized that he was driving around and collecting. All he did was collecting money and replacing the ones that sold. So then he hired his cousin to go around and do the driving for him while he went and did more deals. So now, applying that exact methodology into my friend's thing, I said, go around the entire coast, take your wife out, go and drop off boxes of your medical kit, and see what happens to all of these stores that, that outdoors, caravans, those sorts of things. Called him up 6 months later, he goes, Johan, we're now doing an extra $30,000 a month just from that one little strategy. Because all of these businesses were like, hey, we need more, they're getting sold out, we need more. So he turned something that was plateauing into additional profits.
With those few small steps, it's amazing what people can actually achieve.
Yeah. And it compounds as well, because once you do it, you don't have to do it again. It sits there and continues to do what it needs to do. That's why we're all in business.
I like it.
Yep.
If that came across, I like it.
You said you want to give as much value as possible. I'm just
Yes.
wondering if we can name some of the points, actually start naming some of the checklists that we've covered through the various stories.
Go for it.
So we've spoken about 2 main reasons, well, probably more, but the 2 main ones that have jumped out from tonight in terms of joint venturing and collaboration. One is to get more access to clients and quicker, and another is to be able to partner with someone to create something bigger or better or more valuable to the end clients. In terms of the checklist of things to do, step one that Deb named was define who your target audience is, i.e. which client or group of clients are you going after. We spoke about the next step being to really clarify what's your value proposition, what's the value that you're actually trying to add. We then added to that research the end clients and understand the end clients, what are their challenges, problems, aspirations.
Yes.
From there you can start working out two things.
Excuse me.
One was who could you partner with, who together with that other person, the two of you could add more value than any one of you could add by yourselves. And then a next key step to get more distribution was to ask the key question, who is, based on who I've worked out is the target audience that I'm going after, who's already got relationships with those people. And I with lots of those people and companies. We've spoken tonight about partnering with larger organizations who sometimes have lots of end client relationships, but they don't always have the innovation and the new ideas.
That's it, yes.
And we also spoke about if you're not going to partner with a large organization, partner with another organization who's already got lots of your clients and look for those people, work out who they are and go and find them and work out with them, work together on how you can add value to their clients. Potentially they might also be able to add value to your clients. And once you start setting up those collaborations, your reach to market accelerates. You can get a lot more reach much quicker by doing that.
Definitely.
What am I missing? What other steps have we already covered? What to look for,
covered
what
a
to
lot.
avoid?
Well, you know what? They're going to have to watch this video or listen to the audio many, many times in order to get all those golden nuggets. So
It's one of those, I think it's one of those things that the more you watch it, every time you watch it, there'll be something else that you pick up from it.
Yeah.
Something else that'll trigger, that you can utilise within your business and within your joint ventures as well. Okay. Is there anything else that you guys would like to add? Thank you.
Thank you.
Chef Ashley, that was absolutely delicious.
Beautiful, thank you.
amazing.
Thank you.
Yum. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we
I think you
finish
have
up?
you have to prompt us here, and then we can add more stuff. Otherwise,
No, well, we've gone through everything. We've gone through what you actually need. We've gone through the different types of joint ventures as well. We've gone through what to avoid and what to look at not doing, as well as to look at what to do, which is really important. And we've looked at different examples. Unless there's some more examples that you'd like to add, or if there's anything else you'd like to add too.
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to
Well,
share.
we have covered quite a bit, which is really good. Yeah, go on.
I'm happy to share a recipe on how to get a system going around setting up the collaboration for the sake of distribution. So how to
Beautiful.
get to more clients.
Yeah.
Our organisation Green Ant has for a long time now helped clients to set up what we call value hubs. These are hubs of people who can collaborate with each other, and we've actually decided now to start setting up these hubs as part of our own organisation, not necessarily for a client. So we've built this. It's now a separate organisation called Symphony 7.
Right.
And in Symphony 7, the whole business is built around creating these hubs of collaboration, underpinned by the uplift of humanity. So we're very strong on profit as a force for good, and we're very clear on those values. So there's the values piece coming out. We're looking for organisations who also believe that anything is possible. Together we're better, and profit can and should be used as a force for good. And we're building these hubs, and I'm happy just to disclose the recipe, because whether people gravitate towards
Thank
77 or could just organise these hubs, by themselves without necessarily being part of Symphony 7.
You heard it here first on Business Dining with Deb, business treats and takeaways. Go for it.
The recipe is so simple, and you'll see when I share it now. We've actually covered it during the talk tonight. Just go to the basics. Just work out, okay, what's my business? Step one, who's our target audience? Who are we trying to get to? What clients are we trying to get to? What's our value proposition? Okay, tick, we're now clear on those two. And then straight away ask yourself this next question. Who is already targeting those clients? who's actually already got an established base of those clients. And pow, what if we could organize a lunch, the old invitation only get together lunch? Who doesn't love getting together over food? We've just done it tonight. It's been amazing. But imagine you now organize a group, and some people think, wow, you know, Anthony, you've been doing that for 15 plus years now, and you've got an advanced system. Here's a little secret for you. You don't need an advanced system. You don't actually need to bring 50, 100, 150 people together like we do. You can bring 4 people together. You just think about what it is that you're offering and who's the target clients, and you work out who are 4 other people or organizations that we can talk to and say, listen, we're bringing together this value hub. The reason we're doing it is X, and make sure the reason is your reason for being in business. Ideally, we want to raise our profits, and we also want something else cool to happen in the world as a result of what we're doing here. And how would you like to get together for a lunch where we'll spend 2 hours the first time we get together? We'll start getting to know each other. We'll ask each other, what do you do? What does your business do? What does an ideal client look like for you? And just by having that discussion, you start to build a relationship. You start to build trust. From experience, it usually takes, so these hubs usually meet once a month, and it usually takes about 3 or 4 months, 3 or 4 separate group meetings for the trust to form and for people to really start to understand exactly what the other people around the table do. And before long, you're referring new relationships, new connections to each other. People usually start quite slowly because they want to check, they want to test the value. Because anytime you make a referral to me, your reputation is automatically attached to that referral.
True.
So if I do a great job, that reflects amazingly on Deb. If I do a terrible job, that starts to deplete your brand and starts to erode the relationships, the hard-earned relationships that Deb's got with her clients. So when you start to make referrals, we recommend do it slowly. Don't make 100 referrals at once. Refer one relationship and see how that works. Assuming it works well, you can go for another one, and before long, your group of 4 people grows to a group, and you grow it from the inside. You ask each other, who do we know that we could bring into this group? And the group grows from 4 to 8 to maybe even 12 people.
No, come on down. That's all right. Come on down. Sorry, Ange.
That's all good. And before long, you've got a group of 12. You know, in our case, we build it all the way out to 16 people who get together once a month. And actually, it's once a month.
Hold that thought. So just hold that thought.
What's on the
what
plate?
What do we got? Sorry.
Gluten-free, chocolate, almond, orange cake, chocolate ganache, chocolate coconut soil, double cream, and raspberries. That's the healthy bit. The raspberries are the healthy bit. Okay?
Smells delicious.
So Ash, I can see here that you are successfully trying to delight us and kill us in one foul swoop.
It's gluten-free.
Look at that. Look at that.
It's gluten-free.
I got one more word for you. This one is Afrikaans. It's ongelooflijk, and it means unbelievable.
Thank you.
After that, I'm out. No more languages.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
I got a question for you. Where did you find these raspberries? They're huge. Have you ever seen raspberries this big?
Excuse me.
I've got good suppliers.
Wow.
I've got good suppliers.
Looks pretty.
Thank you very much.
Guys, I will do a promo video afterwards with all the food. You've been taking photos? Good.
I've been taking photographs,
good.
yes.
I will do a promo video of the food afterwards for you so you can see it up close and how delicious it actually looks.
Deb, can I be honest?
Of course you can.
I am no food buff. I eat to live, not live to eat.
Right.
But buff that I am, I can delightfully say this has all been absolutely awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
I'll come back to the first word I shared with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy. Please.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chef Ashley.
Jeez. I don't usually animate over food, but this is spectacular.
I know. I have,
Hang on.
yeah.
No. You got to finish sharing your formula.
So we were up to, you could grow the group. The group meets once a month.
Yes.
Make it for 2 hours. And your group grows from 4 to 8 to 12. Said in our case, we grow the group all the way up to 15 or 16 people. And a key tip that I'll share with you is don't do what quite a few people do. They work out who they should partner with and get involved to create more lead flow and generate more business. And they catch up once a month. And you know, we've actually put people like this together where we don't facilitate the group, and we catch up with them 7 months later, and we ask them, how's it going? And, you know, how do you like the other people in the group? And they say, wonderful, awesome. And how's it all going? Yeah, fantastic. How often do you catch up? Yeah, we still catch up once a month. Okay, how much business have you done? So what those people are doing is having a coffee and a donut meeting, coffee and a donut zero, and that's great. Don't let me stand in the way of people forming good friendships and delighting in each other's conversation, but make sure that you also ask the key questions at these get-togethers. And the key questions you want to ask each other include, what do you do? In other words, what's your elevator pitch? You want to ask at these meetings every time, because it takes a while for it to really sink in. What's your value proposition? So what is the real value that you add to the end clients? And the third question you want to ask is, okay, what does a perfect lead look like for you? Because if you can describe that to me, then I can do a mental Rolodex thing and I can work out, do I know anyone about hosting these get-togethers once a month? And you're asking those three questions. Over time, you'll find it pretty amazing how close these other deals are to you. Sometimes they are just around the corner if you just form a relationship with that other person and ask the right questions.
Because also too, when they're not in the lunch and they're speaking to someone, or they're in a meeting or something like that, and something comes up in regards to that other person, to their value proposition or what they're actually wanting, they'll click to, I can put these two people together.
Oh, so you mean when people remember you when you're no longer in the room?
That's it.
And that, from experience, a lot of that will come back to how good your elevator pitch is. If your elevator pitch is boring...
I thought they changed the name of that, didn't they?
Well, yeah.
Haven't they called it the Gaddy pitch now?
Deb actually asked, is there anything really valuable that we would be willing to share or just to give?
Yeah, and I'll talk about that in a moment, but or maybe I'll talk about it now, seeing we're saying it now. What I was going to say at the end, and I might as well say it now, is that if any of you know Anthony Gaddy, you'd know this. If you don't, you will now know this. That if you've ever been to a pitch fest, and a pitch fest, if you don't know what it is, it's where people pitch their business to get investment as well. You might have seen Anthony on the panel. So that's where we actually met years ago at a pitch fest. And so the elevator pitch of what Anthony is talking about has been, the name has been changed to the Gaddy pitch, and because he's very, very good at it. So he's actually just done an update on the Gaddy pitch, which is really, really exciting, and it'll be out towards the end of February. So, and I will say this afterwards also, if you do decide that you want the Gaddy pitch, and you have to have it, you have to have it, the updated one, then please email me at hello@empowermentpoint.com, and the moment it's out, I will receive it and I will email it directly to you as well. So do you want to tell us a bit more about the Gaddy pitch?
Yeah, sure.
Or the elevator pitch, the Gaddy pitch?
It's so funny. I learned from a good friend and colleague, James Tuckerman.
James Tuckerman, yes. That's where I first heard the
Gaddy pitch.
The Gaddy pitch. So hi, James, if you're watching. That's where I first heard about it.
JT, what you name your products is everything. What you name your products is everything, because we used to call it the knockout elevator pitch. And seriously, we would consult this to clients and we would run through the exercise, which actually we'll share in the video tutorial. We would charge clients between $2,000 and $2,500 for the exercise. And very often clients would say, wow, this is really amazing and I've come to a really good spot and I've been in business for 10 years, 15 years. I could never describe what I do in ways that were interesting and memorable, and now I can. Thank you so much. But I would not say that that tool went viral in any shape or form. It was used with consulting clients and people appreciated it at workshops. But one time James Tuckerman actually delivered the tool. He taught someone the tool himself. He knew it after we shared it with him and his audiences a few times. And someone in the audience stood up and said, wow, that's such an amazing piece of intellectual property, but the name, the knockout elevator pitch, is terrible. So James actually said to the guy, all right, smarty pants, if you think it's a terrible name, what do you think is a better name? And the guy thought about it for a second. He said, why don't you call it the Gaddy pitch? And James came back to me with the suggestion, and within a week, the video went viral and thousands of people were watching it. And I started getting emails from Silicon Valley to Singapore to wherever, of people actually sharing videos of them sharing their pitch and asking questions and sometimes asking for guidance. So what you call your product makes a very, very big difference. Gaddy pitch is basically a system for working out a really, really good elevator pitch. So when someone asks you, what do you do? In 30 seconds or less, you can say something in only 3 sentences, which allows them to remember you and makes you really stand out. So if you think of it in terms of, if you go to a function somewhere and you ask someone, what do you do? And they say, I'm an accountant. Your brain might say, okay, cool. You know, there's 7,000 other accountants in this town. Why should I talk to you? But if you spoke to that person and you said, what do you do? And they said, well, you know how there's a lot of high net worth people who make a hell of a lot of money, but sometimes they pay a lot of tax and sometimes more tax than they should. Well, what I do is I show them the most cost-effective ways to pay the minimum amount of tax and to stay out of jail legitimately. You start to remember them as the consultant, lower the tax, stay out of jail. That stuff's more memorable. And that accountant, when he or she shares that pitch, when they leave the room, people remember them. And when they come across someone who's earning a lot of money and they might not have the best tax structures in place, they think, yep, I should introduce them to this person. So you'll never be
Same.
same, but also, you know, when you're catching up with these people, and whether it's at functions or you're working out how to form these joint ventures, a lot of people make the mistake in that first 2 minutes of trying to be noticed, remembered, and understood. The understood is a lot of detail, and in that first catch up, people get bored. You just want to be noticed and remembered in that first instance, and that's where the pitch is very useful.
So if I say, I seal your legs, people will remember that.
She's a player.
I seal your legs.
I seal your legs. What do you do?
I seal your legs.
I seal your legs.
Legs. I'm
I
thinking.
seal your business legs.
Is there wine in there?
What did you put in here? It tastes good.
Yes. Fantastic. Thank you for that. Now, just quickly, we are very much over time, so thank you for bearing with us. I really appreciate it. Before we do go, is there anything you guys want to share at all before we say goodbye?
You can go. I'll go after.
Yeah, it's probably something that came out earlier in the session where, Deb, I think you mentioned a lot of people sometimes don't go for it out of fear of failure, fear of being rejected, maybe even self-doubt. I would suggest have a look around at people who've made something happen in the world, and they usually didn't do that by standing patiently in the queue. They usually didn't do that by succumbing to doubt. They usually did what you said, which was give it a go, lean in, take a risk, work out if the risk doesn't work out, am I going to die from this? If the answer is no, or if nothing really catastrophic is going to happen, I'd say give it a go. On partnerships, on relationships, on life, it's unbelievable what can happen if you can.
And it's still scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, go for it.
Do you think Rafael Nadal doesn't get a little bit scared when he's down match point, or, I mean, he lost last night, but all of those players, you think they don't experience fear when they get on the court a little bit?
The more, it's funny, the more I read, the more I see, the more people I see who've succeeded have really gone through a whole lot of crap. And I have to say, I hate this line that most people who are successful have gone through crap, because I don't think they should have to. But they do. That's just what it is, definitely.
That's life.
Do you have any questions? No? Oh, cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, really important just to go for it.
I've got one more question.
Yes.
Ash, have you got the recipe for everything? Oh, wait, no, he's definitely got the recipe. Would you be willing to share the recipe on some of the stuff that you've cooked tonight?
You have to invite me over to your house.
Okay.
Deal?
Fantastic.
Deal? Yeah, it's a deal.
Fantastic.
It's a deal.
Done.
Awesome.
Johan, is there anything that you want to add before we close?
I could talk to you guys all night, but I've done something better. At your convenience, whenever you're ready, we've created about 3 hours of training which you can go and access. We've just shared that with yourself. Go to businessauthorities.com/new-training and you get access to all that training. So we cover a lot of stuff that we've talked about today, plus a lot more.
Fantastic. Thank you for that.
Awesome.
I want to thank these beautiful people for coming tonight and for sharing their knowledge and their information with all of us. And remember, guys, too, that the more you collaborate and joint venture with people, the more you're helping yourself grow, you're helping others grow, and you're meeting your clients and your customers' needs, or more clients and customers' needs as well, which is really, really important. So a big thank you to my friend Anthony Gaddy for coming tonight and for sharing all your information.
Yeah.
And remember that if you do want the updated Gaddy pitch, please email me at hello@empowermentpoint.com, and I will have that sent to you when I get it, and it will be sometime in February as well. So get on board so I can start to collate all the email addresses to have that sent out to you. So thank you for that. And if you do want to get in touch with Anthony, please email me and I will forward the details on to Anthony as well. And a big thank you to Johan Nagera as well for coming on board and for enjoying tonight and giving us as much information too. And he also has an amazing deal for us tonight as well, that there is a program which I'm very excited about that he is doing called the Accelerator Program. So the deal is that you can actually get 10% off this Accelerator Program by going on to the URL Business Authority. Is it .com.au or just .com?
Tell them to email you. It's going to be better.
Okay. Email me at hello@empowermentpoint.com and I will get you the details of that as well, so you will get your 10% discount from that. Oh, go on.
Can I do something off the cuff here?
Go for
It's
it.
definitely not on the script.
Go for it.
I'm wondering if we can create a joint venture / entry-level partnership right here. Ash, what kinds of clients do you look for, and do you have any clients who are mid-tier business operators, so they run a business that's anywhere between 50 and 500 staff? Are any of those people your clients?
Yes.
Okay, and are you looking for more clients like that?
100%. Yes.
I don't know if you've got your phone on you, and I don't know whether you chef during the day, at night, but my question is going to be, what are you doing on Friday the 21st of March? Because
I'm now free. Yes. Keep going.
amazing.
Keep going. Keep talking.
Because we're going to have 50 to 100 business owners, CEOs, thinkers, doers, strategists, people who are involved in business.
Beautiful.
Many of whom fit that description that I just shared, all of whom are
You're
bound,
hearing it here live. Go on.
bound by the values of profit as a force for good, i.e.
Yes.
let's make more profit and then let's make cool things happen with some of that profit.
Beautiful.
Together we're better, and creating win-win-win outcomes. And I wonder if you attend that lunch, you attend in a personal capacity, it's
Yes.
cooked by somebody else.
Yes.
Have you ever been to Chin Chin in the city?
I believe I have once. Many years
Okay,
ago, yes.
after the lunch I'm going to ask you what you thought of the lunch, because I value your opinion, especially related to food. You're already invited. Johan, you're already invited. It'd be a pleasure if we could have you join,
Fantastic,
and let's
thank
see
you.
if through that we can introduce you to a number of people, some of whom might become clients of yours.
Beautiful. Thank you. Appreciate it.
How would you feel about adding value to one or two of your existing clients who fit that description by inviting them to join the same lunch?
100%. Consider it done.
Wow, so how's that for an entry-level collaboration, JV? It's the very least we could do.
Thank you.
Thank you so much
Appreciate
for dinner.
it. Thank you.
Pleasure,
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
that, Anthony.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you do want to contact Johan or Anthony, please email me at hello@empowermentpoint.com. Would love to speak to you and happy to pass on your information as well. A huge thank you to my friend Nikki, who has been making sure that everything is going fine on Facebook and that you guys can hear and see us well as well. And a big thank you to our sponsor for tonight, which is Chef Ashley Han.
Thank you.
Voila!
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
From whitenightcateringservices.com.au, and that is night with a K, K-N-I-G-H-T.
Thank you.
He's in Melbourne and he is happy to cater for your private functions, big or small. And if you guys haven't had a date night in a while, it's time that you all did that. And Chef Ashley will be really happy to provide you with a beautiful dining experience for that as well. My name is Debbie Small and I'm the founder of Empowerment Point, and I want to thank you for watching Empowerment Point TV tonight. Business dining with Deb, business treats and takeaways. Again, if you want to watch any episodes previous as well, I have the YouTube channel Empowerment Point TV, and you're welcome to watch it there. And I'm going to be adding more videos as we go as well. And there was another thing I was going to say. Oh yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel as well, so you get to know what's happening and you keep updated. If you would like to chat and see how I can help you within your business as well, again, feel free to email me at hello@empowermentpoint.com, and I will message you back, or I will call you, leave your phone number, I'll give you a call and we can have a chat about that as well. And if you are watching the replay, you can also watch the replay on my, if you're watching a replay, then you're probably on my page, Empowerment Point, Debbie Small as well. So you can watch past replays on that too. And I just want to say, remember one thing, or two things, in life and in business. You need perseverance, you need persistence, and you need a great sense of humour. So keep moving forward. Thank you.
Voila, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.